motion character in there. I had an actor stand in for it, but we were going to put a stop motion actor in there. And it was very hard to create that under the pressure of getting the film finished. It was just too much to do. So we had to take it out.
Mabuki, Kili Kaliatuga, Watakamulira, Wokichisa Crispa Grido.
Look, Jabba, next time you want to talk to me, come see me yourself. Don't send one of these dwarves.
Makichise.
Lucas, with the special effects wizards at his cutting-edge company Industrial Light and Magic, resurrected the slimy image of Jabba.
The actual motion of Jabba never really existed before. This is something we had discussed with George Lucas, and he said, well, basically I want him to move, right? So that's a problem now, because we don't really know how he moves.
We never could find the negative. We never were able to find the original negative. It was either destroyed or lost or stolen at some point. So we have to make it totally digital. Then you have to stabilize it. Then an animator, who's really an artist, even though he's working on a computer and we think he's just a computer geek and nerd, is actually animating something that is totally realistic. And that's a serious art form.
Basically, we went through a couple iterations, George and I did, because it was believed at the time that we wouldn't be able to move a massive character around. So I had to actually slim him down.
The idea was that we'd introduce Jabba here so that in Empire, when he comes up, and in Jedi, when we actually see him again, you know, it'd be a consistent trilogy.
We had the concept of a slug initially, and then he had the concept of saying that, well, maybe he has a whole bunch of little legs off the side and they sort of come out like an anemone, right, and actually help him scurry. So initially we sort of went for that approach. Over time it became evident that the mass of the character would allow us to make him move like a sea lion.
Indeed, the dreadful slug confronts Han Solo in all his disgustingness. No, not Han Solo's disgustingness, you defect. Behave yourself, Archie. But why they should want to sneak the frightful Jabba into the movie when there's not a single extra shot of us is quite beyond my capacity.
Mabuki, Bargoniana Foto Daila.
It's almost like a children's classic. Wizard of Oz or whatever, you know, it's a place to go, like a big playground where it's very reassuring because evil is clearly defined, goodness is clearly defined.
Stay sharp, there's two more coming in. They're going to try and cut us all.
Why didn't y'all run him? I thought you said the thing was fast.
Watch your mouth, kid. You're going to find yourself floating home.
We'll be safe enough once we make the jump to hyperspace.
For Hamill, watching Star Wars again is like a trip down memory lane.
To know how good it was.
I mean, bearing in mind how basic the production must have been in those days, they did some amazing effects.
Well, Star Wars, I mean, every Trekker, or whatever you want to call yourself, knows that if Star Wars had bombed, there would have been no Star Trek.
Oh, really?
That's
I didn't
right.
know that.
Yeah, because basically, they weren't going to do another series of Star Trek.
Right.
Star Wars was such a major success, instead of carrying on with the original series of Star Trek, they went to the movie.
Right.
Made the movie, and that's when everything else carried on. So if Star Wars had bombed, you wouldn't have had... So really, all the Trekkers can be thankful to George Lucas.
Good grief.
They weren't
I also heard that he almost had a nervous breakdown, or did have a nervous breakdown during the making of Star Wars. Star Wars.
I think like anything passionate and everything like this, Spielberg, they're all sort of... They're brilliant people. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's just move on quickly to the last collection. There we are. Look, all of these included for $22.50, by the way.
These actually will fit your special edition, same size.
Right, okay, so if you want to mix and match them, you can do.
Yeah, that's why we didn't frame these up, because people would want to maybe buy both sets, especially Star Wars.
Well, a quarter of the stock has gone already, and we had lots of these in. They're selling very, very quickly indeed.
You have got new parts of that, like with the Jabba, that's from the first movie, so that is, but you have in the special edition more of the new digitized.
Right. So this is available for...
It also transformed the world of movie merchandising. Creator George Lucas retained licensing rights back in the 70s. A smart move that proved to be a gold mine.
Basically, I got the merchandising rights so that I could control the T-shirts and the posters and the things that in those days were merchandising, which were things that were quick and easy to do, and they were used primarily to promote the movie. And my interest was in promoting the movies so that I could finish the other two movies. which because I had Empire and Jedi.
The public really discovered it, and then it became this kind of merchandising phenomenon. Now they go backwards, you know, they design all the toys and try and make a movie out of it.
Collectors even surf cyberspace to trade the top dollar memorabilia.
My son was born when we did Empire Strikes Back, and I felt like I knew they were going to be collector's items, but why not let him play with everything? That's what I did. So now he's looking at the, you know, the price list of items and wondering why I let him give Princess Leia a Sinead O'Connor haircut. You know, her head's on the end of a pencil with just dots.
20 years later, the Rebel Alliance action figures continue to kick butt at toy stores. But when Lucas started his films, he had no idea it would endure this long.
The first screening I had was with the studio, and they loved it. The second screening I had was with a bunch of my friends, and most of them liked it. A couple of them loved it. A couple of them gave me a bad time because there were things that needed to be fixed, and they helped me fix them. And then the next screening we had was actually a preview, where the audience went nuts.